Well, welcome to another edition of TEPSA Talk, our podcast that we do for TEPSA. And this is our continuing series in praise of principals. Decided to do this because with all the things going on in the world and all the things going on this year, principals that I talk to are still positive. They still love their kids. They still want to be in their buildings. And I'm like, why in the world are they so joyful? But when I think back about being a principal, Cooper, I am jealous because I miss it a ton. I wish I could just go back in time and do a little principal shipping. But I will tell you, we're here today with Mr. Cooper Hilton. He's principal of Wilson Elementary in the Coppell ISD, the arch rivals of my former district. But we'll leave that as it may. And Cooper serves on the TEPSA Executive Committee. He's our newest member, and he is one of the most positive folks that I know. Therefore, that's why he is on here for this interview. So welcome, Cooper.
Thank you. You know, when you describe what it's like to be a principal right now, and then you say, but we still miss it and we still enjoy it, it makes it sound like maybe there's something not right with us, and that might be the case.
So what's your point, Hilton?
Right.
Cooper, what's your point? It is true.
It is a very interesting time to be a principal.
That's right. It is. Well, Cooper, why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Cooper Hilton, proud principal here at Wilson Elementary in Coppell. We are an early childhood through fifth grade campus, proud dual language immersion campus. So about half of my kids are a part of the dual language program, and they are learning 50% of the time in English and 50% of the time in Spanish. You can see we're in the middle of Red Ribbon Week right now. You know, the national theme is be happy, be brave, be drug free. And so today we are all dressed in a way that makes us happy. So I'm hiking head to toe. That is my happy place, my retreat. And am a husband and a dad. My wife and I met teaching years and years ago. She was the best teacher I've ever met, and I got to do inclusion in her class.
Oh, wow.
A funny setup. And so Mr. Hilton and Mrs. Hilton, we worked across the hall from each other. But I learned a lot from her. And then we've got 3 little boys who are 6, 4, and 2. So my oldest is in first grade in Hilton ISD, where we live, and he's at an amazing school with a pretty fantastic principal and teacher. And my middle one's in preschool, and my youngest is wherever at all times. So he's just all over the place. But yeah, so this is my 7th year as a principal.
Right.
Was an AP here in Coppell for 4 years before that, and have been a proud TEPSA member for 11 years. And as you mentioned, to now get the honor of serving on the executive committee.
Super.
So yeah, we're surviving right now. Our kids are happy. We're incredibly stressed, but our kids are happy, which is probably the most important thing.
Well, I know that you get some downtime just like me. You participate in one of my favorite activities, and that is going out for hiking. And I've had so many people say, well, I had little kids, I can't hike, but I see that you do the same thing we did when our kids were little. We just drug them out there and we hiked.
Drag them out there. We put them in a pack, or they're on my shoulders when they need to be. And we're going all the time. That's the only way that we maintain any sort of sanity. And people say, y'all are gone all the time. How do you go do so much? I say, look, that's the only way we keep our house clean. We clean it, and then we leave. And that's
I love it.
That's how we stay sane.
I love it. I remember very clearly when my son was about 3, we were in the Grand Tetons, and we were up probably about, I don't know how high we were, 7,000 maybe. And there was a little bitty trail, and it's a 400-foot drop on the right, and he wants to run ahead. So that's when we learned that leashes are not just for dogs. You got to have a leash for your kid so he doesn't jump off the side of the hill. But we had great times with that, and I'm glad you do. And I love following you on some of your social media to keep up with what you're doing. But you know what? These are really strange times, Cooper. What have you found to be the most challenging thing this year?
I just knew as the year was getting started, it would be kind of managing the COVID mess. And we spent weeks
Yeah.
prepping the building with, spacing things out, with marking where you can stand in the hallway, organizing and sorting through all of our PPE. And while that has been a challenge, I kind of feel like we've gotten in the swing of things a little
Yeah.
bit. We still have to be vigilant and make sure that we take this seriously and that we're keeping our kids and our staff safe.
Right.
But we're kind of doing okay. What I didn't anticipate, and what has definitely been the biggest challenge for me, has been supporting adults' social and emotional well-being. We have focused for years on our kids, and
Yep.
we knew coming back this year that they would come with a variety of needs, and I feel like we were kind of ready for that. We didn't
Yeah.
know what exactly the needs would be, but we were kind of ready. And I think something that I was maybe a little naive about was just the needs that our adults would bring,
Yeah.
and things that personal struggles, health struggles, balancing everything right now, worrying about their kids, worrying about their spouses, all of those kinds of things, um, to see the strain that's put on my teachers has been something that's been a real challenge this year. And it's something that I'm up for. It's something that is we have to take as seriously as possible, but it kind of snuck up on me a little bit. And I am a very laid back person. I am whatever you throw at me, I'm good. I can make it work. But I even find myself sometimes kind of like, oh, why do I feel like there's something heavy on me?
Yeah.
And I have to kind of give myself permission to say, you know what, this is a really stressful time, and it's okay
Yeah.
to like pause in that for a minute and just say it's okay to be stressed, it's okay to be anxious. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I would say, that adult, mental, social, emotional well-being.
Yep. I can see that just having a daughter who teaches first grade, and she's doing the virtual classroom, which she does just would rather not do. She'd rather be in a person teacher,
Yeah.
but I can see the stress level there as well. So thank you for what you do for teachers in that manner. But this is supposed to be an uplifting interview. So let's pivot from the most challenging thing you had to deal with, and you have an idea that our listeners can use this week.
Yes. So, this is something actually that's kind of tied to that challenge of supporting our teachers. We have been trying to find the most creative ways that we can to support them, so they in turn can support our kids. One simple little thing that we've done is we've created what we're calling the snack shack. And we had like this random little office in the back of our library, and we've just it's been ongoing in the PTO newsletter. I've donated some Diet Cokes and some LaCroix waters, and we've just got ongoing stocked snacks, and we've got a mini fridge with drinks, and that's proved to be a really nice spot. A nice spot for teachers just to go where they know it's quiet and they can get a snack and not have to worry about how hungry they are. So that's one thing that we've done. And another is, our budget, what I thought we were going to be budgeting for back in March, is completely out the window.
Yep.
And so I've got quite a bit of sub funds that I have that have just kind of been sitting there that I'm not going to be able to send my teachers to training with.
Yep.
And so we're using that. We've got a couple of subs who come in now, and they're kind of floaters for us. And so we're using that for those subs just to push in, give our teachers a little bit of time to go grab a snack. But also because many of them are having to do virtual and face-to-face. That's one way to give them some time to catch up on some virtual planning, some virtual feedback. So those have given us some little victories. Additional time for teachers, and then just, it's cheap. Get them a sparkling water and it'll make our day sometimes.
Isn't that funny how that works?
That's what I think is helping us. Yes.
Well, I think that's a creative. I think that principals need to. One of the things that you mentioned is creative use of your budget, because there are some pivoting that you're going to have to do on your budget. And I'm glad to hear that you're doing that. Many of our rural areas are finding it very difficult to find substitutes because many of our subs are retired teachers, and they are in the high-risk group. So I'm glad that you're using your funds in that particular manner. So,
well, and that's been a challenge for us too, and we're right here in the middle of the Metroplex where
yep.
We've got a ton of people around us, and one of the solutions that our district has done is they've taken the pay that they would typically reserve for long-term subs, and they've made an adjustment where now if as a sub, if you work 8 days in a pay period, then you can earn that long-term sub pay. So
excellent.
They've been able to entice some people to come and join the sub pool. So that's made a big difference, because when we started the year, it was a definite challenge.
Excellent. Well, Cooper, you've talked about challenges and the stress of being a principal, but with all the uncertainty, I talk to principals all over the state, and they're still happy. They find joy in being a principal, and I'm like, and I get it. I've been there, but a lot of people don't understand how you can find joy in being a principal. So with all this, why do you enjoy being a principal? Where do you find that joy?
Again, maybe there's just something wrong with us. I don't know. But
or maybe something right with us. There's something right with us.
Right. There. I like that. When you spend your day, day in and day out in a building with kids that are happy to be there, it's kind of impossible to maintain a negative outlook. Now, this year has certainly proved to be more of a challenge to maintain that joy and positivity. But I think what I come back to is just the impact that I get to have, and to see sometimes how the little things that to me are so small, to see how people take them or interpret them or appreciate them, really just kind of fills my bucket. Yeah. I've got to be transparent about something. Our crossing guard was out this week, and so they reached out. They said, "Hey, Mr. Hilton, can you help us out? We're down somebody." And I'd be lying if I didn't say it first. I was like, "Come on, with everything I've got, I need to go be the crossing guard too." And I've got to tell you, I got multiple parent emails. I got kids literally stopping in the middle of the crosswalk and realizing it's me once they see it through the mask, through the vest, and it just lit up their day. And so little things like that might be an inconvenience for me, can come back and kind of slap me around and say, "Hey, you're a pretty lucky guy." And every little thing that you do, you get to impact your staff and your kids and your community. So I can't think of many jobs where we get to impact as many people as we do directly, face to face. This isn't things, I'm not in a different building having this impact. I'm right here. So it's a pretty neat thing. That the principalship is really unique in that respect.
And I think you're a young man, but as you're an older guy like me, you'll realize that people come back and they thank you or they'll look you up on Facebook and they'll tell you something you did, and you're like, "I did," and it had an impact on whether it's a compliment or a pat on the back or just an uplifting moment with a student. They come back, and I've actually had students come back and teach for me, which I think is the highlight of a career, is when you have somebody come back and teach for you. So it's been a good time, and I can't think of anybody more positive than you. So,
wow.
Oh, go ahead.
That means a lot.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, one kid stopped me in the crosswalk and he realized it was me. He said, "Wait, you're the boss. What are you doing here?" And I was like, "Well, bosses help people. Come on." So even just thinking that, that I can model.
Oh yeah. I get it. Well, you're a very positive person. I so appreciate you working with kids and the impact you're having on kids and parents and your community and on TEPSA as a leader. So Cooper, thank you so much for being with us today. And I'm going to tell you guys out there listening to us that we'll be back with another principle soon. If you want to catch us, we're on Spotify. It's Steps to Talk. And you can look us up also on the website. If you want to see the video, it will be posted there at tepsa.org. So so Cooper, thank you so much for being with us today. And I hope you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, Mr. Terry. Always good to talk to you.
You bet.